You're listening to the Get Rich Podcast. This is not a financial advice podcast. This is a podcast with two friends talking about how to get rich. Thank you for listening.
So, Tyler, I had another idea.
Let's hear it, John.
Grow mushrooms.
Does this mean our next episode has to be about ayahuasca?
I just want to get rich. Get rich.
Get rich. Get rich.
So I'm gonna start a podcast.
Get rich. Get rich.
How come no one's ever done this?
Get rich. Get rich.
Now it's time to
get rich. It's.
No, what? It's not even the same thing.
What kind of mushrooms are you talking about? Wait.
Edible, like...
Oh, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
No, not...
So, normally when a podcast does an episode on mushrooms, then they go to, ayahuasca or vice versa.
I'm not talking about psychedelic mushrooms or magic mushrooms.
Okay.
I'm talking about, gourmet, expensive, edible, when you go and pay $50 for, an ounce of food kind of mushrooms. Those.
Well, this episode is not going to be as much fun as I thought it was. Okay, fine. Mushrooms. Yeah. Tell me about it.
Well, they're expensive.
That's a great place to start.
So if you sell enough, you could get rich. The thing, though, that came to my mind was that there's a bunch of expensive varieties.
Okay, so yeah, I'm just going to interrupt.
Okay.
You've tried to grow mushrooms before, right?
Yes.
Well, I mean, you guys have a farm here, like corn and tomatoes and things and pumpkins. So, were you successful?
No.
Do you know anybody that's been able to grow?
Yes.
Can I get that? We'll do that later. Okay, so...
I can either confirm or deny. No. I want to grow things like, the ones you eat. Chanterelles, truffles, porcini, morels, those ones. Now, you may say, if you have any bit of knowledge about mushrooms, people don't cultivate chanterelle, truffles, morels.
But you've got some here, right? I mean, we've been walking in the woods and you've been like, hey, whoa, slow down, Tyler.
Wild chanterelles grow around here. They're delicious. They're awesome. But no one's been able to figure out how to mass produce or cultivate them, on a farm kind of situation here. My idea is...
Can you just dig up your dirt that you've got?
I mean, it can't be much harder than that, right?
I don't know. And this is mushroom season, I feel like. I feel like I've seen so many mushrooms right now.
I think it's coming to an end soon.
Maybe different kinds of mushrooms. But for some reason, in people's yards, I drive by and I see mushrooms right now.
Yeah.
I wonder if those are the kinds of mushrooms.
Are they in a cow field or a horse field?
They're just yards.
Okay, no. Those require dung, I believe.
I mean, look, I'm not actively looking. There was this one time we were younger.
Yeah, you just notice things. Anyways, my big idea is, you've probably seen advertisement or know about the kits on Amazon you can purchase where you can, pretty much grow mushrooms on your counter.
I know nothing about it because I'm not actively looking to grow mushrooms. When I want mushrooms, I go to the store and I buy mushrooms. And usually they're just boring whatever mushrooms.
No, that's not my idea. I don't want to just grow the ones anybody can grow. I don't want to get those little kits. I want to be a groundbreaking researcher and pioneer and figure out how to cultivate and grow the ones no one else has figured out. That's where the money's at.
Are you talking about real science?
Well, what is science but trial and error?
Okay, good answer. You know what? I'm impressed by that response.
Thank you. So I would just try it until it works.
Try-ents?
Try-ents, exactly. That's a good shirt.
That just came to me. That's brilliant.
Try-ents.
We're not scientists.
Or it's not try-ents, or it's not science, it's try-ents.
Yeah, we're all try-ents. Try, whatever.
Something. We'll figure that out later.
I have to write it out too. This is good. Okay.
So you're on board with this idea?
I mean, I'm on board with some of the things that I've said.
Oh, okay. Cool,
Those are good things.
Cool.
Well, how much could you make just harvesting the chanterelles or whatever that you already can get?
Well, I don't want to just have to hope to find them in the wild. Let me see, just chanterelle.
Because, I mean, we've been out a few times and you've come back with
Whoa.
what I felt like was a hefty little amount, like a little basket full. There's an image for you. John and Tyler trouncing through the trails of the woods with baskets, merrily picking mushrooms and berries, and they're having just a wonderful time frolicking around.
Okay, I'm super confused right now
You look like it.
because I Googled chanterelle price per pound. And the top thing that showed up was on average expect to pay around 20 to 40 per pound. And
That's
then if
not
I
a
just
lot.
scroll down a little bit more, it says on average chanterelles run for about 224 per pound.
These are wildly different amounts.
I don't know. Well, I'll just go ahead and call it out. One source is foraged.com and the other source is tastingtable.com.
Which one is more?
Tastingtable.com is the one that says 224 per pound.
Because they are selling to restaurants and not at a farmer's market.
Yeah, I did watch. So the idea for this was, I think it was on YouTube. There was like a New York City mushroom slinger, pretty much is what he was. He would
A mushroom
receive.
slinger, like, hey
Yeah.
man, does he like work the streets?
He did. He would like receive his shipment.
What kind of mushrooms are we talking about?
He would do truffles
Okay,
that
I'm
were
just making sure
sometimes
because-
legally shipped and sometimes not really legally shipped.
I
It's like a bunch of different laws about shipping
you
edible
need to
things.
tell me that story so I can do a paper trail on it.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, I don't know if he's been charged with anything, but this was the idea. He made thousands of dollars a day. He would receive the mushrooms, however he sourced them, and then he would just like, it was like a bike or maybe a car. I think, no, never mind. He used a car and he had a big cooler, like styrofoam cooler, and he would just go to different restaurants in New York City and sell his mushrooms, and he made a lot of money. And it was like kind of like a fast pace, like we have to do this quickly. Mushrooms don't stay good for long.
That's true. Oh man, they've got like they're built in with all of those like social science manipulation right there. The limited time offer is a manipulation that different.
Oh yeah, it's like you
know.
got to get these quick. They aren't going to be good in another
Well,
hour.
You have a limited resource and a limited time. You know, it's like boom, act now, act fast. Okay,
Right?
you're getting me. You're roping me in.
I'm roping you in, but also it's like the perishable nature is kind of like one of the things. Like that's why when you have a bunch and you can't sell them, make them into other things.
What do you make mushrooms into?
Well, have you ever heard of truffle oil
Okay,
or truffle infused things? It's like there's a million of them.
okay. I thought, yeah, that works.
Yeah, thank you.
Do
So
you know how to make oils?
I can figure. You just like put some oil in a container with the other thing, and then it infuses.
Okay,
It's easy.
okay.
But yeah. So truffle oils, different mushroom oils. I mean, what if they never did a chanterelle oil?
I'm gonna float an idea
Start
right out,
doing that.
like out here right now. Maybe it should be a different episode. We can
Okay.
cut it if it should be.
I will take a sip of my coffee while you do this.
Yeah. They've already done oils infused with these things, but have they done liquors infused with these things? A mushroom infused vodka, for example, has those earthy notes. Who knows? We can cut
Yeah,
it. We can have it as another idea.
I don't know if there's a big market for. I
Earthy
want
vodka?
my vodka to taste like dirt or like a mushroom. That made me think though of like making alcohol from mushrooms. Maybe
I don't think they have enough sugar.
you just
Yeah, they
add a
gotta be-
little.
Then are you making it from the mushroom then, or are you making it from your sugar?
I don't know. I need to rewatch my Moonshiners. It's been a while since I
You could
watched that
definitely
show.
do like a craft beer with mushrooms.
Their craft beer. That's where it's at.
Yeah.
They'll put anything in these new craft beers.
Anything in a craft beer. Hedgehogs in a craft beer. Sorry, hedgehog quills. I wanted a throwback and I forced it. I'm sorry. We're here
We'll
now.
cut that. Don't worry about it.
Let's move on.
But no, then mentioning oils though, in the back of my brain, I was like, what is like the biggest oil thing going on right now? You know what it is, right? Come on, Tyler.
Iraq?
No, Jesus. And that's not even going on right now.
Fracking?
Essential oils.
Essential oils isn't going on right now any more than ever.
Yes, it is. You're not in the.
I was thinking the Dakotas, fracking. You know, those towns, they pop up and they go. People make big money, but they spend big money.
No.
I know a guy.
What does that have to do with mushrooms?
oil.
No.
Wrong
Using
oil.
mushrooms.
Wrong oil. Okay.
Oh my goodness. So, if you can make like an edible oil, like a truffle oil you put with your cooking, you know, essential oils. I don't know if you know this. I know this because, you know, my wife.
Could you make candles?
You
Would
could
you want
probably,
a mushroom
if you
candle?
want to put anything in anything, you can do it. But the idea for essential oils based off of mushrooms, they sell those essential oils in a tiny little vial.
Yeah, it's a little tiny
And
bit.
it's probably like $20 a vial or something.
All you need is someone to say the miracle cure that it is. You don't say it. You never say it.
Yeah, just post reviews or like customer, what's it called?
Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, feedback, reviews, customer, can't think of the word right now, but
We'll edit that. We'll say it later and we'll put it in.
Testimonials.
but yeah, essential oils. Everybody's like, "Oh, tree tea oil, it's so amazing." What if you just start saying, "Hey, chanterelle oil is so amazing." And mushrooms are fascinating. Just a quick side note. There's so many that do so many different things medicinally, food-wise, culinarily. It's like pretty much like they found a mushroom that can eat plastic waste now.
Yeah, I heard about that.
So they do so much. I think essential oils, that just came to my head. It would be a good route to go with that. Because you have a perishable product. You just make a little bit of oil with it, and I don't know, squeeze it or whatever. And that's how they make essential oil, right? They just squeeze it until some juice comes out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Squeeze real hard.
That's a whole potential alternate monetary route we could take with that. But well, let's cut to a commercial real quick.
Did you forget it?
Would there even be a commercial though? If this is 21 and 20
Guys, here's a quick word from this episode's sponsor.
What's it going to be for?
Or we're advertising ourselves in the middle of the episode.
That's a good idea.
Tell your friends.
Or could this be the place where... never mind. And we're back.
So, like, here's my thought, okay? I'm going to take it back to where I started,
Okay.
okay? If you can set up a successful mushroom growing business, right? When the government finally rolls back their anti-psilocybin laws, right?
Okay. For those of you who don't know, he's talking about magic mushrooms.
No, but there are so many medicinal opportunities for psilocybin that aren't researched in America or in the United States that could be.
Yeah, well, recently, I think it's Oregon, Portland,
I don't know.
maybe even Colorado now.
Portland is in Oregon.
They decriminalized those. So
Which is weird. Like, that's a whole weird thing when a state decriminalizes something, but the federal government
a lot of
hasn't
it's going on with marijuana right now.
Yeah. But, like, in Canada, they do the research on this stuff, and they found some good stuff, you know, how it helps with depression, and it helps with all sorts of things. It helps to create neural pathways. My point is that you've got a mushroom growing business that's established.
Yeah, if
then you could be a leader.
I could.
In that field.
If it was legal, if it's ever decriminalized in Florida, or if I ever live anywhere where it's decriminalized, yes, then I would pursue that. Only if it was legal and above bar or whatever would I pursue that. The main thing with this idea is it's just if I do, or let me be confident here, when I figure out how to cultivate a mushroom that's never been cultivated before, that technology, how valuable is just that technology?
Your methods, your
My
approach.
methods, I'll patent them or whatever. And then you...
Hello, Sarah. What did you do to grow the chanterelles?
Okay, cut that.
Man, you know what? I just dug a bunch of dirt out in my neighbor's backyard. It was working for them then. I figured it worked for me now, man.
No, you'd have to do something unique to make it patentable. And then you could sell that technology or your methods or even start your own quote-unquote kits or whatever. It's a whole nother way where it's just, I'm not just selling mushrooms, I'm selling you the technology or methods used to grow mushrooms as well.
But really, you're selling the mushrooms because that's the thing that most people are buying. I'm just saying, yes, you're also selling the other stuff for like a huge price, but for your everyday person, your major income is the
potentially
produce.
I mean, if like, say for instance, a huge, I don't know, food company wanted to buy my technology, that'd be a big payout then. We're talking millions. Millions.
One big thing. I just need this one last heist.
Yeah.
Well, that's
I get what you're saying.
yeah, John, I think that this has potential. So, look, I don't know about chanterelles and I don't know about truffles. But I really need you to know about the Appalachian truffle.
Okay, it's a type of mushroom that grows in Appalachia?
Yeah, and it's a growing thing. I read an article on it a few years ago, so maybe it's already been figured out. But it's still a thing. It's like, really, it's just like two guys, and they go out, and they know where they grow, and they find them, and they got the dogs trained to find them, and then they bring them back into the cities and sell them.
That, unless you can, like, cultivate regularly a mass supply, having to go out and forage and hope you find stuff, that's
a fool's errand.
You just don't know if you're going to find a bunch or if you're. I'm not opposed to work. It's just the
Let me rephrase
unknowing.
it. That's a hustle.
Yeah,
We're not about hustles.
we're not about hustles.
We're about getting rich.
And how do you get rich? You have a steady supply.
Foragers. I mean, who built civilization? Foragers or farmers?
It's all about farmers, man.
Farmers. All right. So, but my point in bringing it up is that it's a newer mushroom.
Okay.
It's literally a newer.
They discover new mushrooms all the time.
Yeah, people they knew about it, but they didn't really know about it in the culinary world until recently, and so that's why I bring it up. Like, you could be someone who gets in on it.
I could crossbreed mushrooms, maybe.
Is that a thing?
I mean, I'm assuming.
Might be.
I could figure it out.
I think we're underestimating the complexity of mushrooms.
Listen, just because like a world-renowned mycologist or, that's a mushroom expert.
That's a good word. Yeah, thank you.
Just because they haven't figured out how to grow some of the mushrooms doesn't mean I can't. Sometimes you need like fresh eyes, almost from like a newbie or like a new perspective to be like, well, what if we try this? And they have their crazy degrees and education. They would have never even thought of that.
It's the anecdote of like the janitor inventing the Post-it note, right?
I don't know that one.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? I think, you know what? I'm on board with this. If you can do it or if you're going to try it, I'll go dig a hole with you and we'll get some dirt from your neighbor's yard, your neighbor's property. And
that'll be a good start.
We can grow some chanterelles.
That'd probably be where I start because I know they're here. I know that no one's figured out how to cultivate them. And so I could get like that, like the seed. It's like mycelium. It's the mushroom before it pops out of the ground.
And that's what I was about to, literally the word out of my mouth. Like when you are growing a plant, there's a seed and you can see it and you can pick it up and you can put it somewhere.
Yeah. It's
these are spores. They're just like.
Well, spores are one thing. And then when the spores go to ground and they turn into the mycelium, which is just like a white underground fungus from which it's like the roots of the mushroom pretty much. Yeah.
And if you have that, then you can grow mushrooms.
Theoretically, yes.
So like we can go out there where the chanterelles are, dig them up, bring them back,
and then just trial and error till we figure it out. Put it in a closet
next to your other next to your dirty laundry.
Yes.
And that was a bad joke and it made you uncomfortable. I'm sorry.
We'll cut it. Don't worry.
Yeah. We'll go out there. We'll dig a hole. We'll bring that back, put it in your closet, and grow some chanterelles from that soil. And then presumably you could
just scale it up.
Can you bring new soil in and the spores will land on that and maybe...
So I have to do a little research, man. I don't know. Like,
we got to clean out the barn, man. This is a recurring theme. We got to clean out the barn.
I do need to clean that barn out. But I think it's a good idea. Once you figure it out, you just scale it up. Come at it from a fresh perspective. There's so many different products you can make with mushrooms. There's even mushroom jerky now.
I'd buy that.
High in protein and all the vegan stuff, you know. They need their protein.
They do.
So
Are mushrooms high in protein?
they are.
Okay.
I don't know
like
if
it.
like all of them are, but some of them are.
Yours will be.
Mine will be.
And they'll be humanely grown.
Humanely grown, ethically sourced, organic, all the buzzwords. And there's just so many products: jerky, oil,
Essential oil.
essential
if that's different.
oils.
Rub it in your belly
so
button. I
many
hear that
things.
cures you of
Truffle.
constipation.
Yeah,
Someone told me.
so many products, oils, just the food of eating the mushrooms itself, infusing them into butter, everything else. But it's a good idea. I think we could figure it out. We could at least, you know, figure out how to grow a few different varieties, and I think it could be a really, and then you just figure out the technology, sell the technology, or lease it, you know.
I don't know if you can lease that, but yeah.
We'll be like, I will allow you to use my technology for a year for X amount of money or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Like that. It's a great idea.
All right.
Thanks for listening to the Get Rich Podcast. Go to our website, getrichpod.com, or email us at jnt@getrichpod.com to let us know what you thought about an episode or to submit episode ideas. If you really want to support us, subscribe to our Patreon. You can find us at patreon.com/getrichpod. Subscribers will have exclusive access to vote on ideas we try, access to videos of us doing the ideas, as well as weekly bonus content. Thanks for listening.